So the first installment of the Rambo series, simply titled First Blood, was released in 1982, bringing light to Sylvester Stallone, who already has been in a couple films before that, but definitely shown, or shun, however you want to say it, in the first Rambo film. Wasn't known to become a franchise, obviously. The titled First Blood instead of Rambo 1. Definitely paved a way for the action hero. Very dark film for anybody. This is going to be a spoiler review again, but incredibly dark film, especially compared to the future ones to come. Incredible cinema though. One of the best action films ever made, hands down. It's definitely known for that, and it's very clear when you watch the film and you really dive into it. And I don't know how much. Oh, it's hard to say whether you dive into it expecting what you get, because it's painted as just a mindless action movie, but it's really a lot more than that. It's heavy on the drama, and it's heavy on the political messages and its plots and its themes, and it's extremely deep. Obviously, from there they get more actiony and action centric, but the first film was far from just an action movie. It shows. So, yeah, basically, we start off with a war vet walking into a small town just outside of Portland, Oregon, and really tiny hick town. He's walking in there. He's got American flag on his jacket, and he's basically a drifter, which unfortunately a lot of ex-soldiers were at the time, coming home from Nam and the horrors of war. Even still today, I mean, it's another thing about Rambo is how relevant it is even today, just as much as it was in 1982. He's coming into this town, and all of a sudden he's already being harassed by the cops and by the sheriff. Sheriff Will Teasel is the sheriff's name, the main sheriff of the town. And he just starts treating him like shit, which is weird because he has an American flag on his jacket, so clearly he's been serving the country. Why would you treat a soldier who is serving your own country like crap? I understand the whole drifter thing, and the sheriff's motive is to keep, I wouldn't say crime, but keep the scum, for lack of a better word, out of, a peaceful town and a peaceful, quiet, small town. But come on, he's a friggin' war vet. Like, why would you treat him like shit? He's serving America, and you're gonna you're part of the whole nation. He's part of the whole nation. He's a huge part of the whole nation. That's what you're gonna do to your war vets? Come on, like, give the guy a break. He's like, oh, get a haircut and maybe take a bath, and people would stop treating you like shit. Go fuck yourself, bud. So, yeah, he basically gives him a ride outside of town, and he's like, yeah, go back to, like, the opposite way of the way you're walking. And Rambo just sticks his coat collar up, and he starts walking back to the town as the sheriff drives into it, and the sheriff notices him in the rear view mirror, and he's just like, what the fuck, this guy again. Turns around, he starts harassing him some more. Eventually he's placed under arrest. Rambo's cooperating at this point. John Rambo is his full name. And he's arrested, so he's taken to the sheriff county prison of the town, the small prison of the town, and he's just treated like crap there. And the sheriff, Will Teasel, is giving him the hardest time. And clearly, you start to get a lot of hints that Rambo is having massive PTSD. and you can tell when he sees a window in the sheriff department that's barred up. It totally reminds him of a cage in Nam that was made out of wood that he was trapped in and being tortured in and cut, because he has a bunch of scars all across his chest and his back when they strip him down and give him a shower, which is basically like a fire hose. He's sprayed down with a fire hose like 5 feet away, and I can only imagine how much that kills on your back. And yeah, they're just treating him like an animal, basically, which is totally unmerited. You know, clearly being an American war vet, but hey. So he's getting massive PTSD. They're about to give him a shave, and of course the sheriff doesn't want to use shaving cream because he's just go bare. Dude's tough, you can take it. Well, he starts getting PTSD as soon as they put the razor to his face, and he has flashbacks of one of the Vietnamese soldiers holding it to his face and torturing him with it, and then right there and then he just goes full PTSD mode, and he starts to just go ape shit, and he goes full soldier mode. And that's what the film is about, is him being pushed to soldier mode in, in his own home, or in, in the small town. And he goes full soldier mode, and he goes full survival mode. And he just totally reverts back to this, like, survival mode, like fight or flight, whatever. And he clearly chooses fight. And he destroys the cops, and he escapes from the jail, steals a motorcycle. There's a whole chase scene. I always make a joke about this film that this is the original Grand Theft Auto 5-star chase because I can literally see just like the 5 stars on top, just like the video game, and like I could just imagine it like blinking with 3 stars and the cops chasing him, and then it blinks to 4 stars, and then he finally like escapes from the cops and like goes all like militia mode, and it just goes to 5 stars. I always make that joke. I'm like, it's the original Grand Theft Auto chase. It just reminds me of that. It's hilarious. But he goes into the Oregon forest, which is huge, obviously. I don't live near Oregon. I don't live in the States, so I don't know what the forests are like in Oregon or Washington State, but yeah, he goes right into the forests outside of this small town, and he basically hides in there, and he is full soldier mode, and the cops can't even control him, and it's him versus 200 cops at one point, and he's hiding in this forest, and there's huge rocks, there's mountains that he climbs with his bare hands, no equipment. This helicopter comes, and he's hanging mid-rock, and he doesn't know where to go because he can't go up, and they're already like ready to shoot him down, and he just literally jumps right off the rock and starts like just like flat stomach down heading to the ground. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, buddy? Are you gonna land in a lake or something? What the hell are you doing? And he's already focused on the branches and what branches he's gonna hit, and which ones are like the leafiest or whatever, and then he's bouncing and he's slowing down, and I'm like, man, you are a motherfucking genius. That is wicked shit right there. Like, that is soldier mode, that is militia right there. And he goes right down to the bottom. He like hangs on to one, and he's obviously like bruised and scarred like crazy, but he knows how to be a soldier, and he's like a machine, and clearly like he has more than street smarts. He has some jungle smarts. He takes street smarts to the next level, my friend. It's fantastic. It's a really entertaining film. He goes into like camouflage mode, and there's scenes. I've seen this film more than once. I've seen it about 4 or 5 times. There's scenes where he's camouflaged, and it still takes me by surprise. I was watching it. I just finished watching it, and the scenes where he's in camouflage with grass and bushes still take me by surprise, because the whole scene is empty and there's a cops searching for him, and he'll just pop right out. And I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about that shit. I totally forgot about that shit. Holy crow, the guy knows how to camouflage. Yeah, right back to jungle mode in this Oregon forest. Right back to jungle mode. Um, you find out that he's a Green Beret. Um, Green Beret, Medal of Honor uh, holder, soldier. I mean, he's clearly a trained killing machine. Rambo grabs one of the cops at one point. Oh, I forgot that he takes down a helicopter with a rock. He whips the rock at the window, it smashes, and then Buddy with the gun falls right out of the chopper and hits the ground and dies. When you can take down a helicopter with just your bare hands, you are one tough son of a bitch. But yeah, he grabs one of the cops at one point and he drops the best quote in the film. Easily, best quote. He's like, "In town, you're the law. Out here, it's me. Don't push it." And he's like, "You push it, I'll give you a war you won't believe. Let it go. Let it go." And then he leaves it and he's like, "I could have killed you. I could have killed you and all your team. But I didn't." And then he's like, my favorite is like, "In town, you're the law. Out here, it's me." It's like, I love it. Oh my God, you're such a badass. But it gets deep too. Like it's not just, him being a champ. It's also like sad how much how much in pain he is and how much of a shell he is. Because when he's in this mode, he's just a machine. He's only about survival, and that's how he was trained. You're introduced to what's his name, Colonel Samuel Trotman, who built him and trained him. And Trotman comes in to the sheriff, and he's like, "Dude, I'm not here to rescue Rambo. I'm here to protect you from Rambo because this guy's gonna fuck you up and your team. Like, you have no idea who you're dealing with. I built this guy. I know what he's capable of. I trained him to be a monster. So you need to back off because you don't know what you're messing with. What you're messing with, not who you're messing with. You don't know what you're messing with." Okay. And I love Colonel Samuel Trotman. He's basically his mentor. He's the one that tries to convince Rambo to surrender, even though he doesn't. But he, like, you can tell Rambo trusts Trotman, but is still so stuck in this survival mode and is being messed around with by this team of police, and for no good reason. And it is no good reason, because they did give him a hard time right from the get-go for no good reason. And he even drops the quote. That's why the film is titled First Blood. He's like, "They drew first blood, not me." And they did. And, well, because he's so from war, they got what they asked for, really. They probably didn't mean to ask for it, but there's the colonel warning them, and they don't want to take their warning, apparently. He kills a boar at one point for food. He knows how to light a fire. He carves this boar up. He takes a chunk of its leg, starts roasting the thing. The guy can survive in the wilderness for however long. He knows how to. He gives himself stitches. It starts pouring out. He survives the pouring rain. Eventually, the military start getting involved. They start bringing in rocket launchers. They start blowing his shelter up. And then eventually, while the military is coming in, he finds a way to literally steal or hop into a military vehicle through the window. He jumps on top of the friggin' vehicle, goes right into the window, and holds the knife to the driver. And he starts like talking to him and being like, "Okay, get out. I'm taking over right now." So he steals this military vehicle, and then he drives it back into town. And then this is where he starts messing shit up, and he starts like lighting gas stations on fire. He starts blowing up buildings. He has an M16 that he stole from one of the military soldiers, and then he just starts going full militia, and this is where the Grand Theft Auto 5 stars come in, and it's like 5 stars. He's just messing shit up all over town, and yeah, and then he hides out in, I think, this some kind of like not a warehouse, but like a tool store or something like that, some kind of shop, and and he hides himself in there, and the colonel's already there, and that's when he's officially surrounded, and the colonel's trying to talk him down, like, okay, like, this is the end of the line. I will get you out of here. I'm protecting you. Like, you're safe with me. Just, you gotta trust me. I'll get you out of here. You gotta let this go now. Like, it's time for you to let this go, and he does. But and this is where Sylvester Stallone gives one of the most emotional performances and breakdowns in cinema history, in my opinion, especially in action cinema history. Just a gut-wrenching, emotional monologue and speech and performance acting-wise that I've ever seen. Just a complete and utter breakdown emotionally, and he starts talking about how back in Nam he was a professional tank driver. He was responsible for $1 million equipment, and here back home where he's from, he can't even hold a job parking cars. You know, and the pain that you see come out of his pores and his mind and his mouth is so, like, heartbreaking. It really is, and he really shows his acting chops more than his, just his muscles and his action hero status. Like, you can really see his acting chops in this one. And it's funny how I'm going to be reviewing all the Rambo movies. It's funny how every one is directed by a different director. This one is directed by Ted Kotcheff, and obviously did a really good job with it. But yeah, that last breakdown, that last scene, and that his performance, top notch, and it spawned a franchise, and as it should have. Of course, like I said before, they go specifically action centered, but this was one hell of an entry for the Rambo series. First Blood, got it on 4K. Nice little slip cover on that. Got them all on 4K actually with the slip. I was very happy to have gotten that. But yeah, then he does surrender, and that's that. And Colonel Samuel Trotman gets him out of the situation, and it ends there. And like I said, it's that final breakdown that really hits home, and like hits what the film is about, and the truth about what it's like to be a war vet coming home to a country that sometimes doesn't really accept you back once you've crossed to the other side and dealt with that. Like, it's like they send you there for their benefit, but then they don't want you back. It's cruel. But I guess it's life. But yeah, Wicked movie, instant, like, it's a classic in action cinema, and so relevant today. Like, this film has not aged. It's beautiful. But that's all I have to say about that. I'm gonna be reviewing the next four. The last one, the Rambo Last Blood, I've only seen once, so once I get to that one, that'll be my second viewing, and I'm excited to watch it again. I did enjoy it. I think this one is my favorite, but I might end up liking another one better. So far, this one's easily my favorite. It's definitely, nothing really compares to it with the other ones. So Yeah, that's all I gotta say for that. We're going on 20 minutes. I really like to keep these like no more than 20 minutes, so I'm gonna shut up now. But that's First Blood, or Rambo 1, 1982, and it's fantastic. So I recommend this. If you've never seen it, pick it up. Cheers.